Hey, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Molly G, back at y'all in the episode of Run It With You. And today we got to run it about this video I came across. It's been making its rounds on social media. And apparently, this is white women saying that outside of sex, men have nothing to offer. And I think she's going to be talking about black men in the video at some point. And it got a lot of people talking. So we're going to go ahead on and react to it together. I haven't watched this video. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
No, I'm very open about this. I like 6'4", brown skin, tatted up dreadheads. That's my type, but hear me out. Hear me out. Outside of sex with them, they fucking suck. They suck. They have no personality. They cannot carry a conversation. We get it. If you wouldn't have torn your ACL 7 years ago, you would have gone to the league. No, I don't want to watch your high school highlight tape. No, I don't want to smoke weed. And no, I don't want to play 2K. Literally, like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there outside of like semi-mediocre, okay sex. You actually wouldn't like them at all. So then I realized that's not actually my type. That's what I'm physically attracted to when I go out into the world. That's what I'm physically attracted to. But now when you remove sex, I'm not attracted to them in any way, shape, or form.
It's funny how she said, but then I see she said something like that in the beginning. She put the black scent on it. But anyway, um, she basically described exactly what men be describing about a lot of women that's looking good on social media and you meet them in real life, basically. But just she flipped it with the man thing. But a lot of men say the same thing about these, quote unquote bad bitches. And, outside of their looks, they just airheads, they narcissists, they just, very conceited, very unappreciative, very, selfish, and only could carry a conversation talking about celebrities and what's going on with current events, dealing with social media topics and stuff like that. Is no substance outside of that. And she basically saying the same thing, but from a woman's perspective when it comes to dealing with men. And I do think that a lot of people, when you meet somebody and you have a connection with them and they real dope and they really have substance, though, I think people got to hold on to them people, because whether people know it or not, a lot of people are very similar. A lot of people have a lot of stuff in common. If you meet a man and he plays 2K, like how she said, he got certain tattoos. A lot of them tattoos will probably be similar to a lot of other dudes' tattoos. Him playing 2K is similar to a lot of other dudes playing 2K. They probably listen to the same type of music. Uh, they probably watch the same exact sports. Like, a lot of people are very similar. That's why when you meet people and you have a dope connection with them, especially if they not your type per se physically, you going to be attracted to them because they can stimulate you with substance outside of physical attraction. And the one thing about a long-term relationship, physical attraction will eventually fizzle out sometimes, some way, shape, or form. But if you got a dope connection with somebody, that could be everlasting.
Like, I need someone that can hold a conversation, that's intellectual, that's smart, that stimulates my brain, that pushes me to do better. Like, that's doing what I'm doing. I don't go to the club. I don't drink. I don't do I don't do rugs. Like, I'm not going to date someone who does those things because I don't do those things. But yet they're all outside in their bedazzled fucking head to toe outfits. Like, that's not my type, but it's what I'm physically attracted to and who I would hook up.
And social media really, play a huge role in this, because everybody is kind of, on the same accord when it comes to social media, and people have less of individualism and personality.
With take the hookup out of it, duds, dead. And I'm like, I'm finally understanding this at a grown age, because no one explained this to me younger. Remove sex from the equation and really ask yourself, would I still like that man? And I think the answer is no.
One thing I could tell people, bro, when it comes to a man, well, I'm gonna say me. When it comes to me, I know when I really like a girl when I want to see her, and sex is probably the last thing on my mind. When I think about her, sex is probably the last thing on my mind. You know, that's when I know I like a girl. And I think when it comes to a woman, when they like a man, getting in his wallet is the last thing on her mind. Spending his money is the last thing on her mind, you know, because it's so much before that that has a lot of substance. And on top of that, you don't see them looking good in a sexual, lustful way. You see them looking good in a wifey material way, husband material way. You know, that's why it's a difference between lust and love. It's a difference between being shallow and having substance. It's a difference between, oh, they cool, they just for the vibes, or an actual true connection. You know, and this basically is just the dating scene in a nutshell. You know, because men, you know, they dealing with this on the other side of the fence. The men that she's met, a lot of them probably could say the same thing about her. That's the funny thing. She dealt with a lot of dreadhead black men tatted up playing 2K club, Instagram pics, uh, you know, the whole nine. But I'm pretty sure, just like how she dealt with a lot of them and noticed the pattern, they probably dealt with a lot of white girls like her and noticed the pattern. Notice they have that same hairstyle that she got. Notice they have probably that same type of nail set that she has. Notice they probably have in common with her the same music that she like to listen to. It is it's the same type of style when it comes to the dressing. Like a lot of people more common than you know a lot of people think, and a lot of people just gotta realize when you meet a dope person that you got a connection with, and y'all dating, and y'all trying to see where it could go. I think people should really take heed to trying to make it serious if you really feel like this connection is real, genuine, and can be everlasting. Because if you're trying to look for any red flags and there's nothing there, then you could be shooting yourself in the foot, because a lot of people could fumble actual genuine good people. And in this generation, this is not the generation of fumble somebody actually good, because you can actually fumble somebody good and not meet another good person like that for another 10, 15 years. I genuinely believe that. And some people could be hopeless romantics forever. But this is just basically dating. I don't know how old this woman is, but if I had to take a guess, she's at least maybe 24, 25. Sometimes you date, when you're young and you just looking for the physical attraction. You looking for people who are popular. You looking for people who got motion, who lit, who could dress very well. A lot of basic materialistic thoughts, and a lot of you know social status thoughts and stuff like that. But as you get older, you try to look for other things that's more mature, more grounded, and more, you know, has substance for a good foundation to build on when it comes to dating. You grow out of all that. You know, Women start looking for men who's mature, who can lead, who can, be able to protect and provide. Women start looking for men who can build things. Women start looking for men who can be a good problem solver, who has goals in mind, and who actually is proactive, taking care of themselves in the gym, maybe can show them a thing or two as far as being able to be a teacher, that can actually, be able to teach her some things. Like, you start looking for those things, and you ain't gonna find it when you real young a lot of the times, and sometimes when they do find these guys, they write these guys off as lame, you know But I want to know what y'all think down in the comment section. Do y'all agree? Do you disagree? It's just is basically dating in a nutshell. Let me know what y'all experiences is. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what you're waiting on. Until next time, I'm out.